Okay. Hi everyone, it's Lindsay from the Porter House, and this is my journey to motherhood part 2. My journey has taken a complete change of where I thought it was going to go. I thought I'd get pregnant, I'd have a baby, my life would be complete. That didn't happen, as you know from our first vlog, and if you haven't seen it, we'll have a link to it in the description below. And around 1 year mark of Grayson's passing, Mother's Day came upon us, and that was May 2013. I had a really rough Mother's Day because I knew I was a mom in my heart, but I did not feel like I was a mom. I didn't have that little bundle to hold in my arms. I held him in my heart, still do to this day. I didn't have anybody to take care of. I didn't have a little baby say to call me mama. If I were to talk to somebody and they would not think I was a mom. So when I went to church, my husband was working weekends, and I had gone to church. I had a really rough time because the first thing that one of my fellow church members said was, "Happy Mother's Day" to me. I started crying right in front of her. I didn't think I would, but I did. And I didn't realize how Mother's Day was going to impact me. I had a hard time staying there the whole time through, and I had a little get-together planned up at my mom's with my grandma and my mom and family for Mother's Day. I went up to my mom's house after church, and I needed just a minute to breathe. So I went into her kitchen by myself, and I just had to pray. That's all I did. I just prayed that God would just help me through that day. And soon after, my mom walked in, and she said, "What's going on?" Because she knew something was going on. She knows me. She knows me more than anybody besides Aaron. And I just said, "Mom, I'm having a really rough day." She said, "Why are you having a rough day?" And I said, "Because I don't feel like a mom, and I want to be a mom more than I've ever wanted anything, ever." She said, "Your day's going to come, and I have something I need to tell you." She was contacted by a family friend, and that family friend has a cousin whose daughter is pregnant, and she doesn't want the baby. The young lady was not ready to become a parent at all, and she had heard about us from our family friend who knew our story and our situation. She had informed the young lady that we would be great parents. Oh. When Mom informed me about this potential baby, this potential adoption, I literally collapsed to the ground. There were so many things that were just running through my mind. What I thought was, I'm gonna have a baby. I mean, I'm finally gonna be a mom. I'm gonna have my physical child in my arms. And there was a lot that had been going through my mind prior on if we would ever, be so blessed and lucky to ever have another child. And God worked this out in ways that I wouldn't even have known about. Aaron and I had just finished foster parenting classes. We were getting ready to become foster parents so we could adopt through the foster care system. And right after I had collapsed in my mom's kitchen, she proceeded to tell me the story. The young lady is not ready to be a mom, simple fact. And she had heard about us through our family friend, and our family friend proceeded to tell her that we would make great parents for that baby. I then got the birth mother's phone number.
So the birth mother and I started communicating. We became friends through texting and phone calls, and I found out she was 27 weeks pregnant. She was pregnant with a little boy, which freaked me out because I didn't have a boy name at all. I had my girl names picked out, but no more boy names. We actually, our first phone call was like 4.5 hours that we spoke. And then as soon as we were off of it, I was like giddy, like, oh my gosh, I'm actually gonna have a baby, you know? My husband was more reserved because adoption, anybody who's adopted knows that it's a very, very, very scary process. There's chances that it won't go through. Like she could decide to keep the baby, the birth father could decide to keep the baby, our home study potentially, well, our home study went past with flying colors, but it could have potentially not gone through. Like, just financially, we probably couldn't afford it. In June, we spoke to a lawyer, and we got all that stuff started, all the lawyer paperwork started, but she was really busy. She had a case that she had to help out on where the children were in dire need to get out of the home. At the end of June, right around our 4th anniversary, wedding anniversary, we went to Montana and met the birth mother, and I got to see her pregnant. She just had this little tiny baby bump, but it was so weird to know my baby was in her stomach. It was like this surreal factor. And we met her and her father, and we got along very well, all of us. We came back the next day, which I think was our anniversary, on the 20th. So we went like the 18th, 19th, and 20th. She lived in Montana. We live in Washington. We live in Western Washington. So it's about a 12-hour drive. July 20th, 2013, we got a phone call at 7 in the morning. I had my nephew just hanging out in bed with me because my husband went to work early. He was working weekends at the time, and it was the birth mother's father. He's called to say she was in labor, and they've been trying to get a hold of me since 2 in the morning. I automatically went into panic mode. I started bawling because I thought I was going to lose another baby. That's completely honest with you. That's the first thing that my head went to was, I'm going to lose another baby. How can this happen? I had my sister-in-law come pick up my nephew. He was bawling hysterically because we had this fun day planned for him. But I said, when we get back, you'll be the first one to hold your baby cousin. And that changed everything. He calls him his baby Mason now. I called my social worker. She said, whatever you have to do, just get over there. Things will work out. Everything's going to work out. And I believed her. She just gave me this utter peace. Her name's Thea, by the way. She's amazing. I packed all of our stuff. I already had the baby bags packed and everything, so it was just getting my husband and my stuff together. And I loaded it in my car. I drove an hour away to where my husband works. And we drove from Washington to Montana, and we got there in about 10.5 hours. We were booking it. We were just trying to get there in time for his birth. We were texting the whole time, seeing how she was doing, how labor was progressing, and we got to Montana we got to the hospital at 8:53 p.m. and as soon as we walked into her room, the nurse said she's 10 centimeters, so we had to leave. She started pushing, and she was done by 8:58. He went down to NICU because he scored really good on the APGAR, but they just had to evaluate because he was 35 weeks and he was having a couple issues when he was breathing. We met him at 12:30 a.m. and I got to hold him for the first time, and like, he was just so tiny. He was 5 pounds, 9.10 ounces. He was just this teeny tiny, gorgeous little boy. This is baby Mason. Mason. Oh, he's sucking on his finger. Normally it's a pacifier. Mace. Mason. Oh my goodness. Hey. Hey, mister. Hey. Mason. There's his little feet.
7.5, let's go. And you'll be a big steak dinner this time.
See?
Big steak dinner? I always take
Yay!
Done.
Compared to my thumb.
For me to get rid of it, I've got to do it. I just got to do it. It's always too. You know, sometimes
very ticklish
do what
feet.
you gotta do.
Yes, huh, baby? Your feet are ticklish. I'm using preemie clothes because that's how big he is compared to my hand. I was in love. And I got to give him his first bath. I got to stay with the birth mom and him in the hospital room the whole time and take care of him and feed him all night. And that was the least amount of sleep I've ever got, ever. But it was worth it. I got to watch the sunrise with my son. And he's truly a miracle. He's my miracle. And I thank God every day for him. My husband's utterly in love. It's definitely been, we've turned a new season in our marriage where we were this young in love couple, which we still are, and we went into this grieving couple who a lot of hope was lost, but we still had hope, to having a beautiful child together, adopting a beautiful child, having this insane journey together of loss and loss and loss to a miracle that I'm holding in my arms right now. And I was really inspired by Missy from Daily Bumps. She spoke her story probably, I think I started watching them when he was about a month or two old. And I just had this you know, want to tell people, even if I can help one other person through loss. We finalized the adoption December 17th, 2013. I don't know if it's everywhere, but in Washington State, adoptions happen on Tuesdays. It was a long, long process. There was loops that we had to jump through that other people wouldn't have to jump through. And there's a lot of what ifs, like, could somebody possibly take our kid from us? And there's a lot of prayer and a lot of tears shed over it all and a lot of worry. And the whole time I just prayed that God would finally bless us, like, get this over with. That's all I prayed for, that he'd get to be mine for the rest of our lives. And this year I got to celebrate Mother's Day as a mom. I got my beautiful baby this year. I feel so complete and whole. I feel for the other moms that have been in my position or are in my position or who will be in my position. This isn't something I wish upon my worst enemy. It's, I don't know how to explain it. There's a certain type of grief that I'm going to have for the rest of my life for the losses that we've had. But I am so blessed to have that little boy. I'm so blessed. I'm so happy. This is the happiest I've ever been in my life. And there's other places in my life that, you know, they need to get better, but I just want everybody to know to not give up hope. Don't give up. There could be your chance in a lifetime right around the corner. You never know. You don't know if you're going to pop up pregnant one of these days. You don't know if somebody's going to say, I have a baby that I want to give to you. Just don't give up hope, please. We are still trying for another baby because I would love a bus full of kids, but I doubt that's going to happen. At this time, I'm working on weight loss and getting physically healthy, and now that my tax placed, I won't have to worry about anything, but as soon as I get pregnant, I have to go straight to my maternal fetal medicine doctor, which is 2 hours away, so that in itself is going to be quite a journey, and I hope I'll get to share it with you guys once that happens. Thank you for your time. Bye.